The Friday Morning Rant with Shane Halfyard contains adult language, adult humor, adult themes, satire humor, and just all around, smut, filth, opinions. So if you don't like that kind of stuff, you're at the wrong show, Jack. Get out of town. This is the Friday Morning Rant with Shane Halfyard. It is Friday, May 17th, 2019, in case you care. Like you give a shit. Well, the past show was 2 weeks ago, and I was telling you that I had on and off problems with my computer. Well, it seems that some of the problems may have been my internet connection, because I couldn't load anything, I couldn't do anything. So the strange man that lives in my house called up our internet provider, had a technician come over, they replaced the modem. Turned out it was really old, outdated, the Wi-Fi modem. So they replaced it with something good. So now everything's working, and I got my big titty porn back. Yay! Big titty porn! Actually, I'm not that kind of guy. I don't have to have big titties. I want to talk about the workplace. This isn't my main topic. My main topic will be coming up soon. You'll see the title. You know what it is. But at my job, I won't say where I work at, because it might embarrass the company that I'm making these videos or your podcast, what the fuck they are. And ergo, I won't say their name. But the amount of hypocritism? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, they're hypocrites. What I don't like is my very first day on the job, when I signed up for everything, they said, do not have any solicitations at all. Like, we don't tolerate that. As in, like, if your kids are selling, like, magazine subscriptions, don't try to sell them at work. Or if you're fundraising for a charitable cause, don't try to fundraise at work. And I could respect that, because the way they said it is it makes people at work uncomfortable. And everybody would be doing it, and then it would just be, uncomfortable, because maybe someone would support, Bobby, but they don't have any money to help Jill, so Jill's all pissed off at this guy because he helped Bobby but not her. And when they laid it out like that, I understood. They do not support fundraising, solicitation of any kind. And I said, you know what, I can respect that. I'll leave my stuff at home. Like, my daughters were selling candies or cookies or whatever. And then they turn around and say, but we here at this company love to support the JDRF. Would you like to make a donation every week coming out of your paycheck? That seems a little hypocritical to me. I've never liked that kind of policy where they say don't do this, but then they turn around and do that. That kind of thing just pisses me off. And it's not just that one time, okay? They do it every year. Want to see if you donate. And for a few years I donated, but then once I started sending money to the Philippines for my wife's family, I said, you know what? I'm doing enough. I can't afford to donate. I'm not doing it. But how they would do it originally, they don't do it this way no more, but originally you were in a room with like 20 guys and girls, the group, and they'd say, you want to donate? And where I'm almost blind, I'd have to get someone else to fill the paperwork for me and go, no. That's a little embarrassing, because everybody else is looking at me like, you cheap fuck. Which is part of the reason why I think they did it. But then the other thing is, they always have these little fundraisers going on. Oh, buy this for the JDRF. Buy that for the JDRF. We're having a barbecue for the JDRF. We're doing this for the JDRF. And I'm like, uh-huh. And they go, well, you don't have to. And that's not the point. Saying you don't have to doesn't mean anything. It's when you say, we do not support this, and then they turn around and go, but we support ours. Now, it's either all okay or not okay. Now, this is something negative, right? But I will say something positive, all right? My job, Once they realized how bad my vision was, they went above and beyond to help me. I've got 2 monitors. I can enlarge they gave me access to enlarge the font on my screen whenever I want. That's amazing for me. I'm grateful for that. I can work all the overtime I want when it's available. So there's a lot of perks to my job too. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but the street sweeper is going on by outside. Usually they go at night. I'm quite surprised it's going out right now. But anyway. But yeah, so they do that. Other things they do that I think are great is they will do some sort of employee appreciation day where they'll have a barbecue. It's all free. They'll make sandwiches. They'll do some of that. Other things I don't like is when they have these massive building meetings where they talk about how great we are, that we're doing well because of them. I don't need to hear that. Send that in an email or something. Fuck off. I want to work. I hate it when I'm pulled into a meeting that has no point. Let me do my job. Like, I would rather be working away for that hour instead of spending an hour in a meeting hearing about stuff that I could read in 5 minutes in an email. Ooh, excuse me. But that is the life you live when you work in an office. And that's, although working in an office was never my first choice in life. I ran a small martial arts school for years, but I had to stop doing that because I wasn't making quite enough to pay the bills and support my family. Although teaching Kung Fu and Sambo was one of the best times I've had in my life, it just wasn't enough to pay the bills. So when I got hired at this other place, unfortunately I couldn't do both because the scheduling of my work. But I did start teaching a small group of students on the weekends. And we've been doing that for about a year. I think 2, maybe 2. They'll know. Strange man lives in my house. We doing it for 2 years or 1? He's one of my students. And then plus my daughter joined in, my eldest. And one of my former students brought his 2 sons. So I'm just focusing on Wing Chun Kung Fu. They're learning the Sealim Tao form right now. And we're having a good time doing it. And that's great. But they want me to teach Sambo again. And I can't do it right now. I'm too big. I am 330 pounds. And my old fighting weight was 250. I'd like to get back down to 250. Right? What I mean by fighting weight is like when I was in shape. Right? Let's just get that clear. That's an old expression. I know some people on the internet may be going, I never heard of him fighting. I don't think he's a fighter. No, that's not what I meant. I mean, I'm just saying when I was fit and, in my prime shape, I was 250. So they talked about Sambo, and I said to them, I would love to, but I need to lose roughly 100 pounds beforehand because I don't feel safe trying to control certain throws, certain sacrifice throws, certain takedowns, and land on my students that weigh like 100 and 120 pounds less than me. When you gain weight, you become very disproportionate, unless you're lucky. Some guys and girls, when they gain weight, it's all over their body. I just gained it in my gut. I just got a big old gut. So I'm quite top heavy, and my balance isn't the best anymore. So I've been working on that. I am. I'm working out. I'm trying to eat better, trying to lose weight. I figured in a year, by next summer, I'll be able to teach, and that'll be fun. But Wing Chun Kung Fu, I don't have to throw anybody around. I don't have to take the top mount. I don't have to do the rear mount. I don't have to mount anybody. So, so that's a doable form to teach, and that's what I'm doing. My God, what the hell? Where am I going? Like, what am I doing? This is the random shit. I hope everybody last week had a great Mother's Day. I hope probably the 3 female viewers or listeners had a great Mother's Day. I hope my 5 guys that are listening to this video did something good for your mom or your spouse. I myself did not do anything for my mother because she wants me to cook her dinner tomorrow, Saturday. So that's what I'm doing. That's her Mother's Day thing. But my wife and I, we went out to a movie and dinner because that's what she wanted. We went and seen Endgame. Avengers Endgame. Now, I love the MCU. All right, I have enjoyed every movie of it I've watched. The only movie I haven't seen was Captain Marvel, and that is because I got a little prejudice against the girl talking about how it's a big feminist movie, and she was, you all know what she did. There's no need for me to go into it. But my daughter Eleanor loves the MCU as well. Pardon me, and she watched Captain Marvel, and she says that it's nothing like it's not a big feminist propaganda show. She liked it. She said it wasn't the best Marvel movie she saw. It's like at around Thor 2, the second Thor movie, around that area. So it's not the best, but it's not a terrible movie, because I didn't think the second Thor movie was all that terrible myself. So I was like, well, geez, I'll check that out. But I didn't have a chance to check it out before Endgame. Now, Captain Marvel in Endgame, she had a very small role. She was only in it, a couple appearances, and then at the big scene at the end. Now, maybe I don't know. Did it get limited because of the backlash of how she talked, or maybe that's just how they did the story? I don't know. But I found the character not as bad as they were making it out to be. Like, she was, she wasn't an unvital character in the show. Like, she had her place. She was helping everybody out. She's quite super strong, blah, blah, blah. And, they did have a scene where all the women heroes, got together and said they're gonna, back this person up and make sure they get to where they need to get to. I'm like, okay. That's fine, I guess. This whole trying to make women look strong thing. Why? Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't believe women can be and are not strong. You give birth, okay? Hands down, you already have a fucking superpower, okay? You're cranking out babies, all right? I could not in a million years imagine doing that. I wouldn't. If I was able, if say hypothetically, the entire planet was wiped out, but some sort of, some reason I became asexual and I could just give birth over and over again to save the human race would end with me. Because I wouldn't do it. Okay? It wouldn't happen. What I mean is, I'm not opposed to strong female characters in movies. I'm not. I think women are strong and beautiful people, and they should be portrayed as strong. But I just mean when they kind of go overboard and they really try to hype that up. There's no need to hype it up, right? Not in that manner. And this is just how I felt. I could have gotten it wrong. I'm not very good at analyzing movies or blah blah blah, but that's just how I felt. There's no need. If the female character is strong, they will show her strength in the show. Like, it's just who it is. There's no need to kind of make it seem like, oh, the women can do it better than the men, blah, blah. And there's no need for men to say they can do it better than the women. I believe in a strong character comes out on its own. Well, not really on its own. Other characters have to help build that character up. But, I believe it comes out. But again, that's just my 2 cents. It didn't ruin the movie. It didn't wreck the movie. This is an afterthought. I didn't even think that when I watched the movie. I was just too busy going, wow, a lot of shit's blown up. But the scene where all of the Earth's heroes are lining up and all of Thanos' warriors are lining up and they're about to rush each other and have a big, big battle. Which, by the way, it was an epic frickin' battle. It really was. It's one of those scenes where you would have to watch multiple times to see everything, I think. Because there's a lot going on. But anyway, as we're running towards each other, I started giggling. And I had to bite my inner lip. Or my inner cheek, I mean. And my wife's like, what's going on? I said, nothing, I'll tell you later. So later on, I told her while we're eating, I said, the reason why I started giggling is because I just imagined that the screen was completely black. Right? And in big, bold white letters, it says, sorry, we ran out of money. We can't afford to make this fight scene. But rest assured, it was going to be an epic battle. Lots of people were going to die. Lots of people were going to get hurt. Lots of explosions. Things were going to happen. And eventually the Avengers were going to win. Let's cut to the end. And then it cuts to like all the Avengers back at Shawarma King eating. Like, wouldn't that have been like a big giant fuck you? Like, literally, I think 10 or 12 years of waiting for this movie. And they're just like, yeah, stick that. I'm laughing at it now because I thought of it. But I think if it had to happen, I would have been the first one jumping and go, what, you motherfuckers? And just throw my pop at the screen or something. I don't know. I think it would have been funny. I'm not saying it would have been the best investment Marvel and Disney ever made, but, that's why I'm not in the board meetings. So we had a great Mother's Day. We did. And we had a wonderful time. And I hope everyone else did. I hope you all had a wonderful time. That's about my week. My God. I live a boring life, eh? Anyway, I'm here to talk about a woman named Lynn Beyak. Okay, I'm gonna spell it, and you guys can tell me which way I'm saying it right. It's capital Beyak. Anyway, she has been suspended from the Canadian Senate after refusing to take down letters condemned as racist. Now, this is an article for the CBC, written by John Paul Tasker for the CBC News. Now, first of all, John, if you ever hear this, which you never will, this is not an attack on you, your writing skills, or any of that thing of that matter, okay? What this is, it's a statement about controlled information, right? This woman states that she did post a lot of letters about the Inuit. We're not Inuit. Okay. I grew up saying Indian, right? And then later on it became Native American. And now I think I'm an indigenous person or indigenous people. I don't know which one it is. To be honest, I don't care about all three. I don't care if someone calls me an Indian, a Native American, or indigenous. It doesn't matter to me at all. I don't care. So, just don't walk up and call me a damn wagon burn. So I don't care about that. Anyway. Plus I'm a mixed race anyway. We'll talk about that in a second. But she had letters about the 60s swoop, I think it's called. Yeah. Anyway, there was a time in Canadian history where they were taking Native children and placed them in schools away from their families. My grandmother went through that. My grandmother and my great uncle or granduncle. It'd be granduncle, wouldn't it? Granduncle and grandaunts. They all went through this. Okay, and that's terrible, and it is. In fact, my grandmother became ashamed to be Native. Now I'm a half breed. I'm a mixed breed. I'm white and Native American. So I'm white and I'm Maliseet. Okay? My mother is Maliseet. My dad is white as rice. And basically how I look, because I know it's hard to picture this, but I have dark brown to black hair, very brown eyes, incredibly high cheekbones, right? So I got a lot of the Native features. But then I turned out to be pale. I'm as white as rice. So my grandmother, because of this kind of treatment she went through, when I was 4, she died when I was very young. But when I was 4 or 5 years old, she kept touching my face and my arms and telling me how nice my skin was. And it wasn't until much later on that someone filled me in that it was probably because it's so white, that she was actually ashamed to be who she is. So I know that kind of thing happened where natives were raised to be ashamed of who they were. But she's claiming that she also posted letters about some people who went to these boarding schools and said it was one of the best things that happened to them. Now, again, I can't confirm nor deny this, right? Because I have no access to her letters, to the letters that she posted. Some people said she posted massive racist things, saying that Indian natives are lazy and they don't want to work. Well, let's look into that, shall we? Say she posted it. Say she did. Why would she post that? Right? Stereotypes exist for a reason. Right? I grew up near the reserve. My mother wouldn't raise me on the reserve because she told me she didn't want to raise a lazy Indian. Okay? So, my own mom, who was Maliseet, said this. Because for years and generations, it took a lot of time to get over the pain of being forced to the reserve, being treated less than others. So natives would drink. I mean, we were not. These people were not. I shouldn't say we, because I'm adjusted to this world. But natives were not meant at the time to be put in one spot. Okay, they always traveled. They had a certain pattern where they would travel with the seasons. Some natives were farmers, but a lot of natives traveled. But they did not have a concept of ownership of land or any of that stuff. So they were raised that way. So that takes a while to get breeded out of your system. I mean, we had to learn to adapt and adjust to, the new regime. That's what it was. I mean, the white man ruled Canada and the United States, and we had to adjust to that. That's a big adjustment. I believe we are now starting to adapt. I can only say in my area. My reserve and the St. Mary's Reserve near me are starting to pick themselves up. In fact, they're picking themselves up in a way where they're starting to get work on their own. The St. Mary's has a supermarket, a little strip mall, has all these things going on to help employ other natives. My reserve is starting to has a little casino, has a gas bar, has a few other things that are starting to employ, people from the reserve. And I think that is great. And I think that we're starting to come ahead of things. But to state that, natives are lazy, well, sometimes we were. Sometimes natives were lazy. Sometimes they got drunk a lot. Sometimes those things happened. And I don't know if she's just referring to the past, or if this is her full opinion, or even if she said it. All right? But even if she did say it, so long as if it was on a personal website page, say like, something she made for herself, her own Twitter account, blah, 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 as long as she wasn't representing the Senate, she shouldn't have been suspended. Because I believe in freedom of speech and expression and religion, and I also believe it is a double-edged sword. Okay? I believe all those things should be accepted. I believe if you are a racist, you shouldn't be condemned for being a racist. I believe that if you have an opinion that I don't agree with, you shouldn't be punished for it. It's that simple. I don't believe that people should be punished for words or thoughts or feelings. Now, I mean, to a point. I mean, if your religion says, kill babies, then yeah, you need a new religion. That's wrong. because that is physically harming someone. But words only hurt when you give them power. Okay? When you give people the power to hurt you because of their words, that's on you. I don't care what anybody says about me. I've had emails where guys call me an asshole. I've read it on air. I don't care. I don't care that they make fun of my thick glasses or the fact that I'm obese or all that stuff. That sort of thing doesn't bother me because it's giving them power over me, and I don't like the idea of doing that. All right? So they have a right to express themselves as well. I mean, you cannot just say, oh, you can only say you have freedom of speech and expression, but only if we agree with it. That's wrong, right? If the KKK want a website, let them have a website. Who cares? What are you worried? What are you worried about? What is it that you think is going to happen? They didn't win beforehand. I mean, the racist people out there are losing, all right? The male chauvinist pigs out there are losing. The feminazis are losing. We are gaining ground, right? People are becoming more and more enlightened. I mean, God, we are now at an age where it's okay to come out as gay, bi, transgender now. When I was a kid, people would never have done that. Okay? When I was a little kid, it was still considered, dirty to be those things. But we are changing those things, and we can change those things because we have the freedom to express ourselves about those things. But at the same time, people should be allowed to say, I disagree. I don't believe that. I believe this. Without being fired, without being called down, put down, or mistreated. Okay? Now again, in their personal time, right? During like a personal web page, a personal tweet, personal YouTube channel, whatever they want to do on their free time, they shouldn't be punished for that. Yes, in the workplace, that is not acceptable. I can see, people, if she went up to, say she was a waitress. Say, Lynn, if you're a waitress, you served my table and you said, would you like anything else, wagon burner? Well, then, yeah, you crossed the line and you should be fired. Because when you're at the workplace, you're not representing yourself. You're representing your job. Okay? Like, if I called people from my work and I said, hello, this is Shane calling from blah, blah, blah. I'm calling about your account. By the way, have you found God yet? Totally unacceptable. And I should be disciplined and or fired. Right? And that's what I'm talking about here. Like, she was expressing herself, posting letters. She says she posted the good with the bad. And maybe she did. My problem with this is I can't find out for myself. Right? This article, talks about all the like she talks about what she says, she talks about what she's being punished for. They talk to indigenous people who are members of the Senate, how they're glad that she's gone. They talked about how they asked, do you think she's going to seek counseling to be more sensitive towards other races? They said they don't think so. And they're saying she's being suspended from the Senate for this term. But I don't think you're coming back, Lynn. I think you're gone. I think you need to make peace with that. I'm willing to bet you won't be back. I don't know how these things work exactly, but I think you won't be back. But the information isn't out there for us to really decide was she being racist or not. I understand that in an article you can't post every single letter. Okay, you can't do it. It can't be done. But what you could have done was allow us a link to her site to allow us to read those letters for ourselves and let us make the informed decision. Basically, what you're trying to say is this woman's a racist and that's it. Accept it. Well, I don't accept it. I didn't get to really see her side of the story. Now, Lynn, if you ever hear this video, which I don't think you will, but if you ever do, you want to get some of your side out, send me a link to your letters and I'll post it. Because right now we're at an age where a lot of people are swallowing what the media is saying. Okay? And again, this guy, John Paul Tasker, he could be only giving us the information that he's privy to. I don't know. That's why I'm not putting him down as a reporter or a writer. His stuff was very precise. It was very, to the point. An easy read. But he might have not have access to those letters. He might have said, well, this would have been better if I had letters, but I don't. So, bada bing, bada boom. We got to do what we have to do, and we have to accept it. And it could be it. But could be 100% it. That is why I'm not putting down his reporting skills or saying that he's biased, because I don't know the situation he was in either. All I'm saying is just because you hear it on the news, you read it on a news article, doesn't make it 100% true. I'm not a conspiracy theory nut. I'm just saying look for more information. I looked for it. Vance looked for it when he messaged me, and we found nothing. We couldn't find anything. And he wanted my opinion. Do I think she's a racist? I don't know, Vance. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know if she's a racist or not. But I do know that I am not willing to condemn her as a racist until I get more facts. And I think that should be the case. I do believe that even if she is a racist, so long as she promotes her thoughts and views on her own time, that she still shouldn't have been fired. That is just my opinion. I believe, like I said, I believe in free speech. I believe in freedom of expression. And that is just how I've always felt about the matter. Anyway, Vance, thank you for this very interesting topic. I enjoyed talking about it. I enjoyed reading the article. I enjoyed looking for the information. You are now in the draw for the $25 gift card of your choice to be made at the end of the month. You are also going to be automatically put into the draw for the $100 gift card at the end of the year. I also noticed that you did send me another email a couple weeks ago. That is the big topic I've been trying to do the research on. My internet was shitty. I couldn't really watch those videos you sent me. Now I can. So I'm hoping by next week or the week after. I'm also going to be doing a show about domestic violence, and I'm hoping to interview someone about the transition house. I can't guarantee that interview, but I'm hoping to interview them. It will be a basic interview. I will just give the person's name, and I will read the questions that I wrote her, because it's hard to get somebody on the show, because my studio is my bedroom, and doesn't exactly bode for a professional environment to sit someone down for an interview with. So that's that. But I'll be calling the person to the transition house on Monday and hoping to arrange a basic interview where I can ask about the questions. If you would like to enter this contest, all you have to do is, number 1, subscribe. Number 2, leave a comment or send an email, stating that you have subscribed, stating your question, your comment, your show idea, tell me to go fuck myself, whatever you want, and you will be entered into the contest. Okay? It's that simple. It's that easy. I'd like to thank the ones who have been watching and supporting me. If you're a fan of the show but you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share it if you like. Help me make this channel grow. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye for now.